We are live indeed. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. This is the Shitlords of Apocalypse special. We're going to be doing a series review of the Open Secret documentary, which is basically it's an expose on the pedophile problem in Hollywood, and it's been kind of a a hush-hush issue for many decades. I used to be an actor, and I did a couple small movies, nothing anyone would have ever heard of, just like Extra and Dante's Peak and shit like that, nothing imperative. But the thing is when you go in those circles, you hear about certain things, and you hear this same thing enough times that, you start to wonder. And then with the advent of the internet and all this stuff blowing up now about Harvey Weinstein, I think this is a perfect time to discuss this documentary. So we'll probably get through 20 minutes of it today at most. I want to make sure that we have enough time to talk and discuss things, so we'll stop and go along the way, and we'll just do part one, part two, and until we get through the whole thing, however long it takes. So thank you everyone for joining us. I am JFQ, and with us today we have two lovely ladies from across the pond. First off, Mazzy Massacre, say hi to the audience.
Hey, how's it going?
Thanks for joining us today. And also we have Dawn Cardiff from, what is it, Fucked Up Feminist Quotes, or no, what happened with that site anyway?
I've had to start again. It got removed, didn't it, because of all the complaining, so I've had to start again. 17,000 I was in on, James, and it was taken down, and I have to fucking start again. But
censorship, gotta love it. So all right, so I when we start this movie, I'm gonna screen share it and live stream it, but YouTube might throw a copyright warning at me and say they'll cut off the stream if it doesn't, if we don't stop. So if that ends up happening, what I'm going to ask you ladies to do is click on the link to the movie yourself, and we'll just sync up the time code and just all hit play at the same time, and the audience will have to do the same as well. So, but I'll try and stream it, so just for the sake of continuity, and we'll see if I get a copyright strike or something. So before we start, though, I want to talk to, sorry if I mispronounce your name, Leva Saninigan, who commented in our live chat. Thank you for your comment, by the way. And Leva says, they are sacrificing Hollywood now. This will wake up many more suckers to conspiracies and believe that Satanism is for real, leading them onto another lie. Now, I'm not really sure what you mean by that. Are you talking about Illuminati conspiracy type stuff? Because like when it comes to this kind of thing, I don't think it's a conspiracy. I don't think it's anything more than just a bunch of douchebags covering up for each other. But I don't think it's ritualistic. I don't know. And Dawn, before we went live, you were saying something about that effect.
There is a big society of people who believe, like, all, like, high profile people in the government and stuff are all like God and this Satanism shit. I've had quite in-depth conversations with people who've been on my friends list, and like it's revealed to me like they'll just blow it out of the water and go, so I'm actually on a crusade, I'm like a messenger. And I'm like, what? Are you telling me in my lifetime I'm going to see hell on earth? And they go, yeah, that's exactly what I'm telling you. And I'm like, this conversation is over. I'm trying to like fight the little fights, you know what I mean? I can't fucking take this on.
Well, there's wackos and there's conspiracy theorists out there, and I kind of hate the term conspiracy theorists in general. It's kind of a blanket term. Like, conspiracy can mean any number of things. Oh, hey, look who joined us. It's Hannah, the adorable bitch from Indonesia.
Hey, Hannah.
You're dead now, mate. I'm telling you.
I know. I got three women on and just me. So
this is going to be a first.
No, this is great. I've thought about this for a while. Sorry.
Where are you?
I don't know if you know your microphone is muted, or if you want to be muted. It's up to you. Just we can't hear you if you do try to talk unless you unmute your microphone. So just FYI.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you are.
Okay.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's 5 a.m. in
Is it?
India, so we appreciate you taking the effort to join us.
Thank you.
You all right,
So sorry.
darling?
I know. Oh my God, it's still early morning in here. Oh my God. I'm sorry.
That's all right. Well,
Yeah.
we understand if you need to go get some coffee or something. 5 in the morning is not my best time. So. But yeah, okay. So I think there is an issue with Hollywood, and it's institutionalized. I don't think it has anything to do with the occult. And if the occult does have anything to do with it, it's because they're just people are rich and have too much money and too much time on their hands. But I don't think it has anything to do with Satanism. Like, I don't know, is that a thing? Is that a theory that's going around currently? I don't know. I was curious about Leva's comment, like what the context was behind that.
Got a lot of echo on there, James. There's a lot of echo there.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of echo. I think it's coming from Hannah.
She must be
Nothing.
very
I do
quiet.
nothing. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. I'm
Okay.
yeah, I'm still getting a little echo though. I think it's coming from you though. I don't know.
I don't think it's me. I'm not moving anywhere.
All right. Well, I mean, is it too distracting, or can we just go ahead and press forward? Yeah. All right. Cool. Well, let's go ahead. I'm going to start screen sharing, and let's see how this goes. Starting now.
Probably got the potential to be quite upsetting, this, hasn't it?
Yeah, I watched this last night in preparation for this show. A lot of it I knew already, but yeah, it's if you haven't heard of any of this stuff before, it's pretty fucked up.
Oh wow. This definitely sounds really disturbing.
Very serious. I like that message. Report it. Life gets better. Absolutely. I agree with that. One of the toxic messages feminists are really big on is not reporting things, discouraging women to report. All right, let me crank this volume up.
Now, we urge families, children, and parents alike to watch both of these important events, and that is not the problem presented, which is a peak compared to all.
All right, can everyone hear that, first of all?
It's quite low.
Is it? Okay, let me crank the volume up a little more. All right, so does anyone know who that person was that was just talking? Like, if you ever watched Different Strokes from the 80s, it was a
Yes!
a sitcom. Okay, yeah. That's Conrad Bain. He played like the dad in that sitcom. And I remember watching this episode that they're about to like highlight for us, and it was about a child molester. And it's strikingly true to real life. You'll see. They're gonna play it here, but I remember watching this as a kid and just being really grossed out by the whole thing.
Ouch.
That show was very unsettling. I couldn't watch it. I didn't want to be around it. I asked them, don't write me, please write me out of most of this.
Please, don't just stand there. Something wrong. Well, Daddy, I guess you could keep the bike downstairs in the garage.
And there's plenty of safe places to ride this car. And as far as straight And they're everywhere. We've got one living in our apartment. It was unsettling because I had myself gone through that. And watching it happen on the show, it was like reliving that all over again. I was reliving that whole thing all over again. And maybe we better not let your parents know about your body. In fact, maybe it would be best if you didn't mention, that you came back here. I gave you all this ice cream before this. Why don't we just make it obvious?
Okay, so you see what this episode's doing already, right? Like they're
Very
illustrating how,
manipulative.
yeah, how you groom a kid, right? You know, you like, oh, I gave you ice cream. I'm the naughty friend. Like, but isn't it nice to break the rules to eat all this ice cream? Just don't tell your parents because they'll get mad, you know, and then it escalates from there, you know, to other things until eventually, yeah, they're doing something horrible.
You know something, Mr. Horton? You're sneaky. Yeah, I'm getting a whole new respect for sneaky.
This is what happened in my life. And they didn't know about it. You know, something I really like. I really like you. You and I gotta have a lot of good times together.
Okay.
Ugh.
This is getting creepy.
Oh, absolutely.
The way he was touching it.
Oh yeah, the whole episode's about a child molester, and couched in a public service message, but it was kind of exactly what was happening in real life behind the scenes on that show to those kids.
So that's what's being said here. This is what was actually happening behind the scenes as well.
I'm sorry, Don. Go ahead.
So is the lad the star of it? He's saying this is what was going on in real life.
Yep. Exactly.
Okay.
There was a school dance at my school called this weekend, and Fred called me, and we were talking on the phone, and all of a sudden he goes, "Hands?" And I said, "Yeah." "You go to sweetheart dance with me?" He threw the phone down. And when he got back on the phone, I was like, "Well, yeah, I'll go."
Though it hurts to go away, it's impossible to stay. But there's one thing I'll say.
They did all through high school. I ended up wanting to service. After marrying my girl in service, when I came home for good, she had a big oak tree in her front yard, her mom's front yard. And I come down the street and there's a big yellow ribbon with a big bow tied around the tree. So,
I wanted him to see that I was waiting, and I will always wait for him. And I needed him to know that when he came down the street. I love him, and can wait to see him, can wait for him to be home.
Well, sounds like a bright future ahead. What could go wrong?
Freddie was born on Easter Sunday. I hung in a little bunny suit with ears, and then Mark came along. 3 years later, we had a great time with our kids when they were growing up. They had sports. Freddie played soccer and baseball. Mark played soccer, baseball, and football. And we had a boat, and we were camping and fishing, and
we'd stay up and watch movies. If you get tired, you fall asleep. Why didn't I put hair paint in their hair, makeup on them, and all kinds of stuff while they were still
yeah, they had fun.
and we had a great time through school.
Very well liked, and a lot of friends.
Wake up in the morning, you have 5, 7, 8 guys down there. Decided to drop by and spend the night. So raid the refrigerator.
Had one girlfriend all the way through high school, and then loved very much. And he just was very popular and fun, and he loved high school. I don't know what prompted him to think about modeling, but
When he was really young.
he was in his early teens when he first started talking about that. He wanted me to take him to a modeling agency. here in Cincinnati.
Oh, here we go.
And then we just can't. He was not happy. He was disappointed. He was okay, but I think it was a dream of his from the time he was in battle, at 13, 14 years old. So when he got an opportunity, I couldn't say no.
Graduated high school.
They seem like really nice parents.
Yeah.
My grandparents were the ones that made the move from Switzerland. They took out a map, and then they kind of like pointed like wherever they wanted to go. My grandmother made my grandpa actually do it, and he told me he kind of purposely moved to LA because he wanted to see all the celebrities and stars and what people think they can see down here.
I think every little kid is, dreams about being famous, being in movies, and, stuff like that. I mean, a lot of my heroes were actors. Johnny Depp was, the biggest at the time. I mean, just everything that, he was able to do, the different personas that he was able to take on, that fascinating.
Everyone had always said, as growing up, as a kid, oh, Mike should be in modeling, or Mike should be in acting, or it was great. So I got a good manager. And
All right, so we're getting a lot of backstory on this guy.
I mean, it was like I couldn't stop looking at.
It does go somewhere though.
From a Midwestern town, and that was really something different, and Michael seemed to enjoy doing it.
I had a good life growing up.
You definitely gonna need to choose.
Especially that was my grandmother at the Houston Grand Opera. I remember going out at the very end of the opera and holding a sword up in the air. And like everybody, it was the very end, going up and holding a sword, and everybody stood up and clapped and started throwing flowers and everything. It was just, and the sound of it was just amazing. The sound of the crowd. And that's probably the happiest acting memory that I have, the happiest experience that I have. I started developing an interest in acting and started taking acting classes in Houston and got an agent.
I don't know where you want to go.
Can I just talk about that for a second? I listened to his experience and I really identify with it. Acting for those of you that have done it, you know what I'm talking about. For those of you that haven't, it's a very, very cool thing to try and accomplish. Like if you can, if you're in high school or a young person, audition for a play. Like just to try the experience, just to see what it's like. Because I'll tell you, you really bond and get close to the people that you work with, because you're doing so many rehearsals, you spend so many hours together, you all have the same goal. But ultimately, when you're on stage with each other, you really depend on each other, because someone can really make you look stupid if there's a live crowd in front of you, if they go off script or whatever. But no one's ever going to do that, right? Because you could do that to them. And there's this bond of trust that you develop with your fellow actors and even the crew members, because crew members are essential to the show going off without a hitch too. And ultimately, that's what everyone wants. And when you have an experience where everyone is on the same page and has the exact same goal, but you all have a variety of experiences and skills that you bring to the table to make this production happen. And then it happens, and then people that come pay money enjoy it. There is a certain amount of pride. It's not really all about ego or vanity, although for some people it is. But there is a strong sense of personal accomplishment and fulfillment when you put all that hard work into a show and you see it happen. And getting that applause it's not the same as getting like applause for SJWs, where it's just all about feeding your ego. It's really about an acknowledgement of your hard work and that you did a good job applying your efforts, and they enjoyed it, and it's an acknowledgement of that. It's just saying, hey, your efforts were successful. We enjoyed it. Thank you. Awesome. Let's move on. It doesn't mean that you're a badass or you have a big dick or anything like that. It's just, it's just an acknowledgement that they appreciated your work. And if you're a humble actor, a smart actor, you don't let it get to your head. And You just love being able to provide that experience for other people. That was definitely what motivated me when I did theater. So I get where this guy's coming from. Like he's not trying to be rich and famous. He just got the bug, and he just wants to keep
Something he
exploring.
enjoys doing.
I'm sorry, what?
He's doing something that he enjoys doing.
Yes, exactly. And I totally identify with it, you know, and like it's your dream. You don't think you're going to get famous, but you think you might be able to just do it and live off of it and see what happens, you know? So I totally get where this guy's coming from. All right, let's move on.
People try to die and try to get here, so
just love movies, films. I just kind of grew up with it ever since I was like 5 years old. I was in What's Eating Gilbert Grape. I was in a couple other films, and I was in The Apostle with Robert Duvall and Farrah Fawcett. The audition process was we met up with Robert Duvall, and he sat at a piano. My little sister and I sang some songs with him.
Yay, Jesus. And the frog. Is that Pepe?
I think so.
Afternoon naps, and he would wake up from his nap and he would sing. We thought he had a very good voice, but then we heard it from friends and even from people. You know, we go to a restaurant and Evan was singing, and people would just come up and say, "Oh my God, how cute he is, and he has such a good voice, and he has a talent. You should do something with that talent, you know."
Send him over to my studio.
I wanted to perform. I wanted to be part of that.
Yeah, and like look how happy they are. Like
I wanted to be.
Like it's like a drug, right? Like you give kids a taste of fame and they crave it. And if they don't have it, they feel invalidated like a normal person, right? Because the whole idea of fame and Hollywood and being elite is setting yourself apart from the common person. And you know, we are the elite, we are the special, we are the powerful. Don't you love how this feels being on the, you know, getting your picture taken, all these flashing lights in your face while you have your logos behind you on the red carpet? And look how happy these kids are. They love it. They're like a, you know, a first-time drug user. They're like, holy shit, I love the way this feels. I can't believe it. Like,
No, there's fucking nothing wrong with that.
I'm sorry, what?
There's nothing wrong with them kids feeling like that, though, is there?
Not in a vacuum. The problem is it's, to use the drug dealer analogy, they use it to groom them into, you know, compromising themselves, you know? So like, hey, you had a good time today, right? Well, why don't you come hang out in the hot tub with me, you know, in my suite, and we'll talk about the next opportunity for you, you know? And you're going to say yes, even though you don't want to go in that hot tub. You're craving that spotlight again, right? And it's so easy to fall out of the limelight. You know, we just know how that goes, you know, like the stars rise and fall all the time, and you always wonder what went on behind the scenes to make someone that seemed like I had a promising career disappear all of a sudden.
You never know, do you?
Oh, sorry.
You never know, do you? It could be anything.
No. People have to come forward. They have to start naming names, and I think we're getting very close to that point now. It seems like everyone's always been hesitant about it in the past, but perhaps not so much moving forward. We'll see.
I'd like to tell everybody else that I have friends who are celebrities. attracted to, I guess, being the center of attention.
Yep.
That's what they crave for.
Oh yeah, and they're going to talk about this later, but basically, you know how like there's this stereotype that clowns are pedophiles, you know, because like you would choose that profession if you want to touch kids, right? Because it gives you easy access to kids, you know, and you know, things like that. Well, it's the same way with family entertainment, with Nickelodeon, with Disney, with all these like kids programming. It attracts people that have very bad intentions toward kids, and it gives them easy access to them. And especially when you consider the glitz and glamour of show business, it becomes that much more appealing. So, you know, that's the direction you're going to go in if you want kids to be dependent on you so you can take advantage of them.
Star of this Mr. Entertainment. Long blonde hair.
Hi. Can I borrow your towel?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Probably play the bratty, you know, person your mother warned you about. Yeah, I look very young. So if when I was 12, I could reach 8, 10, 9. You know, that's what LA looks for. You know, like now, I could probably play, you know, 25 or 30. I'm sure.
You've made an awful lot of money for the movie companies, and I hope that you've gotten a nice big chunk yourself. You're doing all right.
Yeah.
What do you want to do when you grow up?
It's tough. You know, it's not as easy and glamorous as everybody thinks it is.
No.
Right away that
He's adorable.
Dennis, that was.
The one who made me. You know.
Is what?
That was Dennis, wasn't it?
I think
Of
so.
Dennis the Menace.
I think so. I think it was. That was just so awkward and adorable. That's like, that was so real. That's what a kid would do, you know?
How could you hate him? How could you fucking hate him?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. You'd have to watch the movie to hate him.
I mean, then you shouldn't be in this business.
As a child, especially, you're having a door slammed in your face every day, sometimes 6 times a day. You could go on years with auditions and not book a job.
Oh yeah, that's another thing.
You're not.
There are so many actors. You are so disposable as an actor. In a second, you can be replaced by anyone else who's willing to play the game. So, you know, suppose you have standards and you say, no, I'm not going to give you a hand job, Mr. Producer. They'll be like, fine, go away. There's someone that looks just like you that's willing to do it. I got 5 people that look just like you that are willing to do it. So fuck off. You'll never work in this town again.
Seeing any benefit from what you're doing.
If you're watching this DVD or video, you're probably a parent looking for information related to launching a career in the entertainment industry if you're infant, child, or teen.
There's a lot of managers now in business. When I first came to town managing kids, I was the only one. No one else managed children. They never heard of it. They looked at me like I was crazy. Several of the established agents wouldn't even talk to me. I must be a terrible person if I was coming with all these kids. It took a while to establish that children need management just like everybody else.
I'm one of the founding members of the then Screen Actors Guild Young Performers Committee, now SAG-AFTRA. And I have been the chair of the committee in the past. Now I'm just a foot soldier. Children are mostly willing to...
So I want to go back for a second. Like, why do you suppose Hollywood was against children actors having managers? Like, for real? Like, why do you think they were so resistant to adopt that?
Well, without bringing paedophilia into it, obviously because management's not going to let the child be financially out of a good deal. Without a manager, you know, they're easier to financially pick off as well, aren't they?
Yep.
But apart from that, you know, they're going to be
to take advantage of them, right?
Yeah, they're going to be more vulnerable about it through that representation of an adult.
Yep. Yep. I mean, you know, if I was going to, you know, hire a sex slave, for example, I would prefer she didn't have a pimp so I could just take advantage of her, you know, like, and change the deal willy-nilly or whatever, you know, like, and you always want to question people that say, no, you don't need advice. No, you don't need representation. You don't need an expert that has your best interests at heart. Just trust me, we're gonna make a lot of money or whatever, you know, like it's just a good baseline to keep in mind.
No.
To listen, they're ready to absorb things. They haven't yet developed any preconceived ideas about who they are and how they're going to get somewhere. We try and advise them on what directions to go in. And when you're doing that, you're managing the parent as well.
When parents enter the entertainment industry, they're typically entering the industry because their child has asked them to, because it's a dream of their child, or because someone has approached them and said that their child was somehow suited to the industry. They don't have any idea how the industry really works.
A lot of kids I know had gotten emancipated, and you know, because of they wanted to have the studio see them as an adult, so they wouldn't have to pick set teachers and have to have their parents on set, etc. Like you're more hired that way.
The actor is responsible for their headshot and their resume. So my pet peeve is the actor that comes in and says, "Oh, my mom has that in the waiting room." Your mom should never have your headshot and resume unless she's picking them up from the print shop. Once you are 8, you are responsible for your own career.
Wow. Wow. Right? Isn't that kind of indicative? If you want to draw a line to leftist politics, what they're really big on is state influence over children and not so much the family. You know, the old it takes a village mentality where your community knows how to raise your child better than the mother and father do. It's kind of an extension of that thinking, I think.
Well, Rami, it's not happening with my kids.
Well, and thankfully, I think most of the majority of the world would agree with you, Don. I think most people are like, no, fuck you. You're not telling me how to raise my kid. You know, no one has their best interests in mind better than me. And that's true. I think for the most part, now you got shitty parents out there, absolutely, and you deal with them on a case-by-case basis. But I think the baseline needs to be, no, the family, number one.
You make mistakes, you know what I mean? You do make mistakes as a parent. And like, you know, every decision I've made hasn't been the best one. You know what I mean? I could have handled a lot of things differently. But no, I would kill for my children. I would die for them, right? And I would never do anything to hurt them intentionally. Yep. Do you know what I mean?
Yep. Well, and I think that's the proper way of it. I think that's how it should be. I think that's normal and should be the rule. You know, I think any father or mother would protect those under their care, especially their own offspring.
It's a learning process.
Myself, I do have a cat, and I can tell you this: if anyone fucked with my cat, I would strangle them to death. You know, in a malicious way. Like if anyone ever hurt my cat in a malicious way, like I would be out for blood, and I'd be happy to go to jail for it. You know, like, and maybe that's why I didn't have a kid. Because it's far more likely someone would fuck with my kid than fuck with my cat. And so
I'm the same when it comes to cats.
Yeah.
Even though my cat.
Oh yeah. Well, you know, you'll adopt a cat soon, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like that. It's like, well, and it's or any pet, you know, any animal that you take into your care, anything that you assume responsibility for the well-being of, any life form, you know, whether it's whether you make a baby or adopt a baby or adopt a pet, you take care of it. You're assuming responsibility for that that life form's well-being because they are helpless to do that for themselves. So you are incumbent to take care of their needs as a virtue of the contract of adopting them. That's why we look at things like dog fighting rings with such disdain, because, you know, forcing and training dogs to fight each other is extremely inhumane, and they don't have a choice. They're basically slaves. Now, we don't put dogs on the same level of people, and I don't think we should. I don't think we should put any animal on the same level of people. However, we still need to have respect and compassion. These are life forms.
Living creatures. They feel pain.
Yep, and they have no malice toward us. Like, they are not trying to go to war with us or anything. Like, they might piss you off from time to time, but usually it's just because they're scared and trying to get away, and you're approaching them wrong, you know. But like, you know, hey, like if a fucking wolf is like charging at you and gonna, you know, try and bite you, then yeah, blow its head off with a shotgun. Absolutely, I agree. Defend yourself. However, that's not what we're talking about here. We're just talking about general concern and care for those that are helpless. And I think how we treat pets is an extension of how we treat children to an extent.
No,
You know,
I would make an estimation of somebody by how they treat their pet, right?
Yeah.
If I fucking didn't like the way somebody treated their animal, I wouldn't like them as a person. I would make an estimation on them as a person.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? If you
Yep,
treat your dog like a fucking,
no,
you know,
I knew a woman that I thought I was going to start dating her. This was years ago. We were hanging out, but she had, first of all, she's like, oh, come over and see my new puppy. I'm like, oh, cool, you adopted a puppy, great. Turns out she bought it from a puppy mill, you know, a breeder, because she wanted a specific dog. And I'm like, oh, fuck, you know, I hate that already, but the dog's already there, so you can't hold that against the dog. Like, the dog's there,
Yeah.
she's got him, so you got to make sure the dog's got a good life, you know, like, that's fine. It's unfortunate that that had to happen, but whatever, it's not the dog's fault. But she would like put the dog into a cage every night when she went to bed. And I was like, why do you do that? She's like, well, that's just what you do with dogs. And I'm like, but is there a reason? Like, has the dog gone crazy or kept you up at night or made a mess? Or like, no, I just put him in the cage because that's just what I do. And I'm like, well, that's weird. Like, I've had dogs before and I just let them sleep on the bed with me. Like, they're part of the family, you know, like, I don't care unless they piss me off. Like, I'll kick them out of the room and close the door. But, you know, I don't get, like, I personally, like, okay, I've been put in a cage before. I did not like the experience, and I'm pretty sure any animal put in a cage feels the same way. So again, not that animals are the same as humans, but being cruel like that and oblivious to how cruel it is just kind of indicative of how you look at other people. Like, you know, like, I think empathy is important. Not, you know, and not to veer too off on the whole animal thing so much, but I think it's, again, like I said, there is a connection to how we treat children with that.
Of course. Of course. You're supposed to look after people who are lesser able than you. You're supposed to look after them. You're not supposed to fuck them. You're not supposed to hate them. You're supposed, if they're not as strong as you, you're not supposed to take advantage of that. Simple as that.
Yep. That's exactly right. The measure of character for anyone really is how you treat people that are helpless to your will. Are you benevolent and kind and generous? Maybe you got to give tough love. That's fine. But, you know,
Yeah.
or do you take advantage of them for your own selfish needs? Take advantage of their vulnerability. And this is what we're seeing.
Abuse is. That's exactly what abuse is.
Yep. Yep, exactly. Mazzy, you've been kind of quiet. Anything to say?
No, I'm listening.
All right, cool. Just wanted to make sure you had a chance to talk if you wanted to. All right, let's move on.
The internet changed everything for us. We were quite surprised to find our own children's pictures were being sold on eBay.
Oh my God.
That's fucked up.
Not anything
Okay, who buys children pictures on eBay, first of all?
Oh my God.
I'd flip my fucking shit. I would absolutely flip my shit.
Right? Like, yeah, suppose you went to an audition, like, you know, one of your kids like was like, oh, you know, let me audition for this movie or TV show that's around, and then you find out their headshots being sold to fucking sickos on eBay, like auction.
What the hell?
Like a piece of meat.
For what? Fuck material.
Absolutely disgusting. Oh my God.
Yeah.
How could they do it?
I gotta think eBay's cracked down on this at this point. Like, if they were probably just slipping through the cracks when this was happening, because eBay is not a controversial company. They're not cool with stuff like this, you know. Like it probably just didn't raise any flags at the time, but I hope that they're aware of it now and stopping it.
I hope so.
Oh, I'm getting onto it. You better not be, because I'm getting onto this now.
Or else we're all boycotting eBay.
Fucking watch me come, telling you.
Yeah, that's so fucked up. I can't believe they did this.
Can you imagine, as a parent, yeah, like how they must have felt when they saw this? Holy
Obviously
shit.
angry, pissed off.
I imagine many holes were punched in the wall that night.
I was just going to say that. I'd punched the screen through.
I would just, we could track down this person who ever did this and kill them.
Oh yeah,
small print. It's all in the small print. You give away you waive at certain rights. Do you know what I mean? Of like photographs, shots. There's all different departments and all these things. And like, if you don't read every fucking thing, you don't know what rights you've waived.
Yeah,
they've probably got the legal right to sell your picture.
That is a really good point, because yeah, you do sign release forms when you go to auditions that give them permission to use your likeness.
Yeah, you don't know what you're signing unless you've read it all totally.
And the thing is, but usually it's pretty, like a legit contract will say, we can use your likeness in the in the context of promoting this project if you are cast. Sleazy producers, though, will not put in that caveat and just be like, we reserve the right to use your likeness, and just leave it at that, and if you don't agree, you don't get the audition. So that is a very, very good point that you bring up, Don, and legally they may not have grounds to stand on because of that, which fucking sucks. Oh my God, yeah, and at that point, then what do you do? Take the law into your own hands? I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I don't know what that would feel like.
Because the parents have got the bug as well then. Do you know what I mean? The parents have got the bug. Like, ooh, do you know what I mean? They're all wanting to be, their kids to be the next star or whatever. They've got the bug, so they're like, oh, yeah. Fucking,
And they don't realize what they've got themselves into.
It's your job. You're the parents. Watch what you're doing.
You know what managers and agencies are like these days? Awfully shady.
Yeah, I wonder. I've been out of the whole circle for a good 15, 16 years now, so I have no idea what the environment is like now. But if it's anything like it was back in the day, you can pretty much bet that producers are just as scummy as they ever were, and people are in a culture of silence because they don't want to risk their careers and getting opportunities, which sucks because you become complicit in the victimization of the next person, and the person after that, and the person after that, and the person after that. You have Gwyneth Paltrow saying Harvey Weinstein was awesome and a great person, when she's accepting the Golden Globe Awards.
But it was a nightmare.
Right. Well, basically what she's doing is advertising for a rapist. She's like, young actresses, go to Harvey Weinstein. He'll rocket your career. All you got to do is watch him take a bath and jack him off, and who knows what else.
Yeah. Sorry, I've just got to twist this stool round to do my head in.
Twist the stool. That's got to be a term for something. I'm going to twist the stool. All right, let's move on.
Yay! Our kids were not. They were certainly not where anyone would care that their headshots were being sold on eBay, and yet it became clear that they were, and they were being sold for a lot of money. And you wondered.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who's buying these pictures?
So are these people being promised the kid? Do they think they're buying the kid?
Maybe.
You know what I mean? That's a fucking lot of money, isn't it? $159.
This is
for a bloody picture.
Creepy. This is so creepy.
Well, and what I don't get is, yeah, why would you pay for pictures? I mean, not to enable pedophiles out there, but I'm pretty sure they're aware of Google image search. Like you can
Yeah,
find.
you can just get a picture for nothing, can't you? Why would you? They think they're buying the kid.
You think they're that?
They think they're buying an hour with the kid.
They're getting a kid out of it, like.
Well, you could just download any fucking picture, couldn't you? Any headshot of any kid off Google Images.
Yeah, I agree. That's why this is so mystifying to me. Like,
$159 for the picture. Well, you're getting an hour with. They think they're getting an hour with the kid.
Yeah, I don't know.
Something like.
I don't know. I guess.
Sense. It does not make any sense.
I mean, are they offering cheese pizza with the picture? Is that like part of the deal? Like
something's offered with it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which means like it must be people who are in contact with the kid, who can get you a meeting with the kid.
I just wonder if that's what you're doing. Why would you use eBay? Like, why not something more anonymous like Backpage or even Craigslist?
Because of that, because it's just global, isn't it? It's like.
Well, I mean, do you think maybe they just get off on being in plain sight and getting away with
danger,
it? Do you think maybe that's part of it?
Maybe, you don't know.
Yeah, like let's just publicly show what we're doing and haha, fuck you. We'll see if you call us out on it. Like maybe these people have so many resources that they don't care if they get caught. They'll be able to.
No, but that makes no sense to me. That unless there's something else going on. Do you know what I mean? That doesn't make any sense to me if it's just about a photograph.
Yeah, because I don't know.
Photograph.
I know, like who pays $160 for a picture of a kid that they could probably get an equivalent of with Google image search? Like there's something else going on there, which is really fucked up. It's really fucked up.
This is ridiculous.
I would take them to the fucking cleaners, honestly.
You know what I want to see? I want to see a superhero movie where the superhero, instead of punching random generic lizard guys over and over again, maybe go and like clean up Hollywood and fucking take out pedophiles and sexual slavery. Like one of the things I loved about the first Iron Man movie was he actually went out and like killed terrorists and like saved villagers that were helpless. And I was like, wow, that's what a superhero does. He saves the common people who are helpless. And he went in there and they stopped doing that with Marvel. Like Marvel movies now are just them punching lizard people. And they don't do anything superhero-y. They don't save people other than, they save people from the damage that they cause with their fight with the lizard people, but that's not the same thing. Like I don't know. Like I wish we could get back to that. I'd love to see a movie where that happens, but who controls Hollywood? Pedophiles. So that movie's not going to happen.
A printed picture that we sent it for free. We started the process of
so fucking creepy. Oh my God.
A matrix of the photographers and the sellers and who was doing what. We were that they were really close, really close.
This is so disturbing.
Right?
Well, that just says what we've just said, isn't it? That basically just backs up what we've just said.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's like, it's such a common thing, sadly, that even without us being Hollywood insiders, we know all about it. Like it's so, and it's funny because I was talking with a friend in real life yesterday about this. And I was trying to talk to him. I'm like, hey, what do you think of this Harvey Weinstein thing? He's like, oh, I think it's ridiculous how bad women are victimized in Hollywood. And I'm like, yeah, I agree. But did you realize like the bigger issue is, like pedophilia and like sex slavery and these traffic rings? And he's like, well, I try not to involve myself with Hollywood drama. I don't really care what celebrities think or do. And I'm like, well, okay, fair enough. I don't either. But this is an institutional system set up for kids to get raped. Like, don't you care about that at all? Like, and these are people that are in the public eye that we supposedly admire and love. And he was like, yeah, I care about it, you know, like, but he kept dodging the question. And the reason why is because he's a complete leftist. I wouldn't say he's SJW, but he doesn't want to betray the people that say the things that he agrees with in the public forum. And so he was hesitant to comment on the whole situation. And he was kind of almost brushing me off as a conspiracy theorist, you know? Yeah, you know, and I'm like, again, you know, it's not about a conspiracy. I don't think it's like that. I just think you have a bunch of sick rich people that have had so much sex that they're bored with it, that they need to spice it up with something that is taboo. And kids are right there for them, you know, like, and I think it's just as simple as that. I don't think it's any more complicated. I don't think it's a satanic ritual or anything like that. I think it's just a bunch of sickos that have too much money and too much free time and have just fucked their way into boredom. I'm sorry, what?
They like the power they've got.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, looking for the next high, the next taboo, you know. That's what you go for when you get desensitized to something. And it leads to this. That's what I think is happening.
But it's all the people enabling it now as well. Not everybody who knows about it is in the powerful position to be able to be doing it. Do you know what I mean? And like, have people got no conscience? You know what I mean? There's all these people keeping their mouths fucking shut. Do you know what I mean? And letting it happen. All these grown-ups letting it happen because they're too frightened of losing the job or whatever. That's understandable, right? But at the end of the day, this is too big to ignore. This is like unbelievable. This is like, how can you just ignore this? This is.
You know, I agree. It seems so unbelievable, but one of the things you have to understand is like cult mentality, and this is something that, like, we talk about like the Jim Jones and Jonestown massacre as an example of this, and they're like, oh yeah, it's all about religion, but it extends to any other ideology that you want to express. The point of, you know, cult mentality is to isolate people from any influence outside that contradicts the line of thought or ideology that you're trying to push on them. Step two is putting yourself in a position of power where you can control their self-worth because they've already accepted the ideology you've sold them. So now you're selling them the terms, but you're also the arbiter of distributing points. For example, like, you know, like you did really good today, therefore you get more privileges. So you isolate people. And this is what happens in any type of sick culture where people are trying to take advantage of you or manipulate you or use you in some way. Like the very first warning sign is them trying to isolate you from outside influences. Like, get away from your family, get away from your friends, only listen to me because those guys are trying to hurt you, you know. And second of all, you know, is them telling you that you are not a good person unless you do exactly what I say. This is true in a lot of religions, but it's also true with SJW leftist mentality and identity politics. Like, they are the exact same animal. They just attack it from different angles. And this is why we have this pretend left-right paradigm, which I don't think is accurate. I think we have people that want to control other people because they are inadequate and horrible at life, and they need some way to attain power outside of merit. And you can do that with religion. You can do that with social justice. Either way, it's the same fucking animal. The only thing that works is merit. Like, you want to go out and change the world, then fucking go make a difference. You want to start a hashtag? Cool. You get thumbs up, but what good did it do anybody?
Well, you know, you can raise awareness. People always say, well, Facebook activism isn't real activism. And I beg to differ, because there's a billion profiles on Facebook, and that's just profiles alone. You've got groups and you've got all the other stuff that comes with it. You can just go like that, and your message is around the world to a reach of a possible billion people, just like that. You can raise awareness on Facebook quicker than you can anywhere. But
assuming Facebook doesn't suppress it and censor it. Like, that's the thing. They're socially engineering everything.
Via the internet. Do you know what I mean? online activism is as valid because you can spread the word quicker than you can just saying it to your next door neighbor. You know what I mean? You can get it around the world in 2 seconds. You know.
Well, and that's why like Facebook and Google and YouTube and Twitter and all these tech giants are freaking out because they hate free speech. They need to suppress, because most people, I think, agree with us. I think they're pretty much online with us. Like we're generally pretty liberal. We don't want to fuck with anyone. We got some conservative values thrown in here and there. But for the most part, we just want the best for everyone, and for people to be left alone and to do what they want to do as long as it doesn't hurt anyone else. And I think that is how most people feel. I think probably 90% of the population or more probably feels that way. The thing is, and this is what leftists are really good at, is using people's good nature against them. You hate racism? Cool, me too. Racism sucks. Therefore, buy into my ideology. And, then you too can be against racism. If you don't agree with exactly what I think racism is, then you're part of the problem, and everyone's like, oh shit, well, I don't think about racism because I'm not a racist. I'm just going about my life doing what I do. And holy shit, now that I'm confronted with these ideals, like, I don't want to be labeled a racist, so I better agree with you. And, yeah, fuck Donald Trump and all that shit, like it's just bullshit. But most people don't believe in leftist shit. It's just peer pressure from the fanatics. Most people are like us, I think. And I think that explains why Donald Trump is so effective at what he did, because it's not like we like him. We don't like Trump. Most people don't. But I like what he's doing. I like what he's doing. I'm kind of cool with him shaking shit up.
He's hilarious. I don't know. I know we're going off track here, right? There's a lot about him I don't agree with. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot about him I don't agree with. But his main concern about his priority for people, he's saying that. Well, why is that shifting? Job, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? That's he is in charge of running the country for the people who live in it. So why is he getting shit for saying this?
Well, he gets shit because he's Donald Trump, and no matter what he does, everyone's gonna fucking shit on him. And there are times where he deserves it. He says a lot of stupid shit, but he says some spot on shit too, though. And I think I'm not a fan of Trump. I think he's an authoritarian. He's not. He got elected on populist rhetoric, but I don't think he's a populist president. I think he's more interested in making money for him and his friends when it comes right down to it. He's not really interested in liberty or preserving the Constitution. However, he is a damn sight better than that fucking communist Hillary, who's going to fucking send us into World War III with Russia just to fucking save her ass so she didn't go to prison for all her war crimes. And that's the thing people don't understand about Hillary, is she's like the worst of the worst of the worst. Like, if I was a woman, I would be so fucking embarrassed that feminists keep putting Hillary up as an example of what I'm supposed to be. Like, holy shit. It's like saying, if you don't vote for Donald Trump, you hate men. Like, no, there's a lot of reasons to not vote for Donald Trump, okay, other than not hating men. Like,
yeah. I would have voted.
Yeah, same. I would vote for him as well.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't vote for him in the last election. I didn't vote at all. But I might vote for him in 2020 if he keeps doing what he's doing.
Yeah.
It's a shame we're getting not getting Brexit, are we?
Yeah. I'm glad we voted out.
I know, right?
Get all the fuck away. Anyway, go on, we're going back now. Where's that shitlord gone?
Oh no. Uh-oh, probably lost connection.
No. Time, isn't it?
Sorry?
Getting a bit late.
I know, it's like midnight.
Midnight.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Were you talking about me? I just went to get a refill. Sorry.
Oh, we say
you were talking, so I figured that was a good chance to walk away, Ed.
oh.
Oh, we were just talking about Brexit.
All right, let's resume.
My cousin Darren,
Yeah.
he was working all the time. He went to 50 auditions, like, in the span of 2 months or something.
Okay, so this is not uncommon, by the way. I want to talk about this for a second. When you're an actor, 50 auditions a month is kind of conservative, actually. Like, you will do, 200. And if anyone has ever been rejected in your life once, imagine getting 200 rejections a month or a week, even. Like you're busting your ass. And if you're in New York or LA, you're likely busing it. You're not driving. So you're taking the bus. You wake up. You go into the gym. You're getting in shape. You're practicing your lines. You're psyching yourself up, and you go to these things. You take the bus there, or a cab, or whatever, depending on your income level. But most likely the bus, because you're broke. You have your headshot, your resume. You go in. You do your audition, and they say thanks. We'll call you, and they never call you. And you do that over and over and over and over and over and over and over. And the damn shame about Hollywood is this effort by young hopeful actors is fruitless, because all the best roles, all the top starring roles are taken by nepotism, basically. Like, the daughter of Nicolas Cage, the son of Martin Scorsese, they change their names so you don't realize how obvious the nepotism is, but that's what happens. So, it's very, very rare for an actor like Tom Hardy, for example, who actually did work his way into the spotlight, who I have tremendous respect for as an actor, and if you notice, like, because he worked his way into it, he happens to be pretty damn good, right? Like, he's a good actor. Can anyone argue with that? Like,
yeah,
he's a good actor, and he looks good. He changes his appearance. He gets buff or he gets skinny depending on the role he needs. Like, he's committed to his art. Carl Urban is another actor I would put in that category as well. These are legitimate people that love the art and manage to beat the odds and break through. But they are 1 in 100 million. Like, for every Tom Hardy, there's so many guys that are just heartbroken, that have just given blowjobs to random fat guys and never got anywhere with it. That is the nature of the business. That's how it goes. So, like,
when I discovered something this week, I'm a big fan of Everybody Loves Raymond, right? I'm a big fan of that show. I think it's the best show, the best comedy ever, right? I love it.
I like the show. It's funny.
Yeah, it's fucking dead good. I love Frank, right? But I've just realised, right, and this happened a couple of years ago, but it was news to me this week, that one of the twins committed suicide.
Oh no.
Twin boy got in the show.
What happened? Was it a divorce or something?
When he was 19 in real life, a couple of years ago, but I've only just found out this week. I was really upset by it.
So he was probably being fucked with, I would bet.
And they were all related to the producers, the Sweatins, the Sweetens. That's just what it reminded me of then, saying like there's nepotism in the casting and shit like that. Well, they're related, aren't they, to the producers of the show? Sweetin or Sweatin, I don't know how you pronounce it. But the sister and the twins, they're brothers and sisters in real life. And the producers of the show, they're related to them. But yeah, he's knows.
I'm not surprised.
Killed himself.
Victims of sexual violence with no outlet for help would absolutely be the profile to be most likely to kill themselves, sadly. And who cares about, like, this fucking asshole Me Too campaign that is happening right now? It is literally silencing men from telling their stories. Like you want to, take away from the fact that they are co-opting attention away from what should be the focus of Hollywood pedophilia and sex slavery into, oh my God, someone said I had nice tits 10 years ago. I'm exactly on the same level as these victims of Harvey Weinstein. Like, I'm a super victim. Give me sympathy. And all these faggots on Facebook will give you likes and be like, oh, that sucks. That man treated you that way. Well, you know what? You're 40 fucking years old. And if 10 years ago someone said you had nice tits and that's what you have to refer to for the worst fucking, you know, sexual abuse that you've dealt with, you're going to put yourself on the same level as these fucking guys, you know, like, who are forced to give blowjobs and who take the bus back and forth. And this not even, like, even if you give the fucking guy head, you're not even guaranteed the role. Like, it's just a roll of the dice, you know, you're just put in that extra category where they consider you, you know, like, it's still only going to go to one person, and God knows how many blowjobs these producers get, you know, and these fucking dumbass, worthless housewives that are just like, I need oppression points because, you know, like, I haven't gotten enough attention from my husband lately, so I need to pretend like I'm a victim of sexual harassment. So I'm going to post Me Too because my life is just as bad as someone living in sexual slavery. Like, fuck off. Oh.
Yeah. I also wrote the picture of the little boy being circumcised, and I wrote Me Too on it. And everyone was like, oh, God. And I was like, and what? Me too. Baby being circumcised. There you go. Me too.
Exactly.
I made a thread or a hashtag called Me3, which is about the violence that mothers commit on their children, which is quite high if you look at the statistics. Like, all infant deaths are, like, you know, drastically higher at the hands of the woman, you know. And you can even extend it. You just be like, oh, did your mom ever humiliate you? Did your mom ever say anything mean to you? Did you ever feel objectified by your mom when you had to, like, lift something heavy or something? Like, you know, it's the same fucking thing. Like, you know, here's the thing, ladies, like, not you on the stream here. I'm just talking to feminists, actually. Here's the thing, you fucking feminists. You are not victims when someone says you have nice tits. It's just a rude fucking comment, and it's out of place, and it's not appropriate. But if you get hurt by that, then your life is fucking awesome, because there's nothing to be hurt about that. Like, you are fucking fragile and horrible and weak, and you should have been evolutionarily wiped out long ago. I can't believe in 2017 there are people that actually let fucking shit like that happened years ago feel like they are on the same level as someone that has been bent over and forcibly raped by a gang of fucking people punching him in the face at the same time. Like, it is not the same thing, you fucking cunts.
This is the thing about feminists. They think compliments is equivalent to rape.
Yep, that's how good their life is. They get so many compliments that it annoys them. And so in order to alleviate the annoyance, they have to pretend it's something worse than it is.
Yeah, being raped is worse than being pretty.
Don't take a compliment, but fair enough, but don't fucking use it as a piece of evidence to hold up your bullshit theory of your institutionalized fucking marginalization, because that's bullshit, because you are in the most privileged position.
Yep.
Exactly.
I'll tell you, you know, like, I still think about maybe eventually wanting to start a family or something. I don't know. But God damn it, like, if I ever had a son in today's environment, I don't know what I would do. Like, I'd be so fucking scared. Every aspect of his life is completely sabotaged. He will have nowhere to go, nothing to enjoy. Fucking Boy Scouts are letting girls in now, and you know what's going to happen with that. There's going to be false rape accusations, and they're going to have to change the criteria for everything to make it easier for chicks to compete. All the fucking physical fitness merit badges are going to need to be fucking nerfed. All the survival merit badges are going to be nerfed. All the, and oh God, I fucking hate everything about it. Like, it's so fucking toxic and ridiculous. I was a Boy Scout. I loved it. It was great, you know, like, and there were so many times when I was on camping trips with the guys, and we'd be like, God, it'd be so great if chicks were here. And, you know, like, you talk about that because you're a horny young boy and you want chicks around. But in the reality, if they were there, holy shit, that would ruin every fucking thing, man. Like, it would be no fun. And they're going to be talking about, like, oh, you committed violence against me when you said when you called your friend a pussy, I took that as a misogynist statement against me, and I'm offended. And now you can't call your friend a pussy anymore. Like, that's where it's gonna go. That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, well, it's right through the education system as well. It's fucking riddled with it, and this ideology. And it's like everyone's got to be like, you know, touchy-feely and talk about their feelings, and that's not how boys behave. It's not how boys fucking behave. Do you know what I mean? It's, you know, it's a good boy, but you know, you call me. It's, I got this picture says this little boy's going to sleep, and he says, "Wake me up again when it's okay to be a little boy, please." And I was like, exactly, fucking exactly. I check our Jack's homework because he was doing a humanities thing not too long ago. And they were doing about, you know, oppression of cultures and different types of oppression going through, like, you know, through the times. And like they were giving examples of what systemic oppression is, or systemic marginalization, and what the type of comments you should look out for. And it was all like, girls are bad at maths, so girls are bad at maths because this is what holds girls back. This is why girls are less likely to succeed. This was on my son's fucking homework. You know what I'm like? I'm not going to take that. So I'm not going to police his homework. You know what I mean? I'm not going to force my opinions onto my kids because I would be no better than a feminist. But if they ask me, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to tell my son that he is more advanced in the world than a girl, because that is not true.
Right. Well, I mean, you're absolutely right, Don. Like, let kids experience the world on their own. When they need help, they will reach out and ask you, and that's a parent's job to guide them in the right direction when they come to you with those questions. You know, you try to prepare them ahead of time as well, of course, as much as you can. But ultimately, like, you want them to go out with a good, solid sense of security and confidence to be able to try to find success according to what their needs and desires, you know, align with. And oh my God, you know, this is why I hate most parents, because a lot of parents don't do that. They don't care about what's good for their kid. What they want is social credit. What they want is props, you know. It's like Munchausen syndrome by proxy has, you know, become the new thing. Like it's popular now. Like, look at my kid. I have a sickness, so I'm going to validate my sickness and get attention by abusing them and making them more sick. And people are going to applaud me and give me likes on Facebook because it's progressive. Because I'm not a bigot like all of you that let your kids not be tranny or whatever. Like,
oh my God. It was quite upsetting for me yesterday. You know, we got Lucas's diagnosis and knew it was coming. Don't get me wrong, but like the first thing 2 people said to me in the day, you know, I said to them what diagnosis he'd got of autism. The first thing they said to me was, "This is 2 people. Oh well, you know, you're going to get a lot of money now and a lot of help off the government. You're going to get loads of money." And I went, "Shut your fucking mouth."
Holy shit, who says that to you? Like, that's really fucking insensitive.
It's technically true. Don't get me wrong. It'll be welcome and I'll be glad of it. Do you know what I mean? But I say to you, James, my kids got autism, James. Got found out today. You're not going to go to me, "Well done, you're going to get loads of money. Don't worry about it."
Yeah, you know, like that.
I was like,
you don't want money, you want a healthy kid. Like that's such a shitty thing to say.
You know, it's technically true, but it's I can't believe that's the first.
Well, let me ask you this: was like a red pill mixed cow type person?
So they get that money.
Oh my God, I can't hear you.
I believe some parents push for a diagnosis so they do get that money.
Oh, okay. Well, did the person that said this to you, were they a red pill type person?
No, nobody is around here. We don't talk about it. I don't know body around here like that. There's one mum actually, she hates feminism because a lot of male victims. That's as far as she goes. Yeah. But I've got nobody to talk to really around here about it.
Oh, so this was a woman that said this to you. Interesting. Okay. I didn't know.
Well, my son's autistic as well. Her older son is borderline autistic, so she's like one of the few people I've had to speak about it to. Do you know what I mean?
No one hates women like other women, so she was probably annoyed that you might steal the spotlight from her, I would imagine. Hey, by the way, here's Hannah. She's back. Yay. Welcome, adorable bitch.
Looking nice there with in front of your face.
Well, that's her gimmick. She's like a spy. We'll never know who she is in real life.
Didn't we just saw her face on camera?
Leave it alone, you.
All right, well, let's continue with the movie.
He was actually.
Well, the way it happened is because of his cousin. You know, he was already signed with the manager.
My parents and my sister approached and just said that, hey, you know, Darian's doing very well with Marty. You guys should check it out.
Martin Weiss, better known as Marty, was a manager in Hollywood for probably a good 15 years. He managed actors, boys and girls, but primarily boys. Marty had close relationships with his clients. He had sleepovers regularly, screening parties with his clients regularly.
Oh my God. How fucking gross is that? Like, hey, everyone dress up as a pirate and come sleep over at my place. Like, fucking hell. That is so gross. Like, I wouldn't let my cat go to that guy's house overnight. Like, why would you let your kid do it for any amount of money? Like, what kind of shithole parent are you? Honestly.
It's like the dance moms. The way they let the kids be treated.
Yeah, dance moms, the honey boo boo type people. Yeah, like
It's sickening.
Like, I don't know. Like, if I was gonna have a kid, last thing I'd want is to exploit them for money. That just seems really wrong on every level. It's just me, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't live in LA.
And out Halloween trick-or-treating, all his clients together, and he would dress up like a dinosaur or another thing too, cringe. He was very aggressive as a manager, though, and he was honestly very good at it. His clients got auditions, they got work.
He said, all you have to do is sing a few songs, and you'll make it big, and you'll meet a producer, you'll get signed by a label, you can star on Disney Channel shows. What kid wouldn't want that, right?
Right? Exactly. Here's the candy. Here's the candy. Come on over. I'm dangling it from a stick. All you gotta do is, yeah. So insidious. It's so fucking insidious. Yeah, I can see you're trying to talk, but I can't hear you.
Okay.
No?
Can you hear me now?
All right. All right, cool. Well, let's continue then.
Okay.
He was signed with Marty at age 11.
I didn't really think, quite honestly, at the time that much would come of it.
Began singing career less than 1 year ago and already caught the eye and he has several major names of treatment.
I looked at the young artist awards.
Well, he was excited and dressed up and maybe we were more nervous than he was.
We were really at least I thought it felt right for Evan too. And he was up there singing, he was like a natural.
Marty called me one day. He's like, Evan, you got a Burger King commercial.
I'll go.
Season toys are now at Burger King. You can collect all 8 open season toys.
That's a big deal. That's like several $1,000s for just a couple hours work. I think when I was in the business, a commercial like that would give you about $6,000 for like a 7 or 8 hour photo shoot.
Right. So we were really proud. Marty really, you know, he did a lot.
Marty, then he picked my cousins and my brother and I up, and we went to play basketball at the park. And it's kind of cool. He was, he would make jokes, and he was really immature, and we were all immature back then. Cousin and him, they seemed to be
grooming
already, and they would, there was no filter. They just say whatever they wanted.
As we got to know him, he was always a nice guy, and over the years, he became more or less part of the family.
This is why you never trust nice people. Trust people that are assholes.
For every holiday, every Christmas, every birthday.
They were playing basketball, and they would make weird jokes. Like, oh, Evan, do you know what job is? And they made me feel like I didn't fit in because I didn't know some of these terms yet.
We came to find out that Marty didn't have a family, was alone and whatever, and he kind of got, I don't know if the right words adopted, but he just became part of the family.
Later that night, he just, he was like, why don't we just talk about music a little bit? I was in the passenger seat in the front. He just kept driving around, and we talked about kind of what I would say, what artists I liked. And Marty, all of a sudden, out of the blue, he was like, did you ever see an old man's penis before? And I was like, whoa, that's kind of odd. And I didn't want to, be disrespectful and just get out of the car and, what I do. I was kind of in the middle of nowhere with this guy.
Yeah, what do you do in that situation, right? You're a young kid, you need this guy for a job. He's saying this to you, driving you somewhere in the middle of nowhere. Don, you were saying something. I don't think it came through. I couldn't hear you.
I missed how old he was, how he's talking now. How old was he when it happened?
I think he said 13 or 14, something like that.
I told him no, I never saw
Oh shit.
this before.
Yeah. With any luck, most of us won't, except me when I'm old.
We got out, we were walking, we got to a park, and there was a tree, and he pushed me to the tree.
Ugh.
And I was like, I'll show you what a job is.
Jesus fucking Christ.
This gets worse and worse.
I kept saying no, and he was pulling my pants down.
Oh shit.
These are your Hollywood producers.
After that, I tried to tell somebody because he was.
Whenever you watch the Emmys or the Grammys or the Oscars, these are the people that
I considered it like nothing really happened.
are put in the spotlight.
Brush it off. It'll go away, no problem.
Oh my god. That is so fucked up.
Around November of 2011, I became aware of this issue of child abuse in Hollywood. You have young children who are aspiring actors. Because of these aspirations, they end up being somewhat easy targets. In some cases, have parents who set aside normal cautions and allow their children access to adults when parents might normally be allowed.
Many actors felt people in that position. Actors put themselves in in the hands of coaches, agents, managers, publicists, and by and large trust them.
You know, being up sometimes really early to go to these auditions and stuff. That was when Michael Harrod approached me and said, you know, well, you can come and stay at my house. You know, the other guys there. He had 3 other guys staying in the house with him, with his clients.
Many of the kids that I worked with couldn't have even been able to take advantage of being in the industry had they had to have their families move here with them.
From 10, 11 to 16, 17, but I still thought it was rather odd, you know, that someone would let their 10-year-old son move in with, at the time, I think, mid-50s-year-old man.
So what kind of parent does that? What kind of parent does that? Probably someone that was abused themselves, likely. Maybe also in the show business.
So what the parents, I couldn't quite hear what you said totally there. So the parent like allowed it.
Oh yeah, yeah. It allowed him to move in full time into the house with a bunch of other kids. It was gonna be like camp. It'll be fun. Lots of balloons and whipped cream. Ugh, gross. Sorry, I didn't mean that. Ugh, so disgusting.
I do see the possibility that things can be misinterpreted. And
Go, so you rest child normal.
Don, can you repeat that?
If it was me, if I was the parent of a child actor like this, I would let them have their auditions and do what they're doing, but the rest of their life, I would try to keep as mainstream and normal as possible.
Yeah, you would think so. And that probably has happened. I think instances like that have probably occurred where casting directors have gotten their face punched out by a pissed off father, hopefully. But they probably get buried and no one talks about it. And that family would get blackballed and, you know, no one would take their audition after that. You know, that's what's insidious about this is it's so institutional and so inbred in the society. Like Democrats and leftists like always pretend to be for the protection of the common man, but it's such bullshit because all their ideological bullshit does is protect the elite class to do whatever the fuck they want. They can rape people right and left and they'll never call it on it. But goddamn it, so if a peasant says to another peasant that they're attractive, holy shit, we need to have a fucking hashtag campaign. It's a big problem. Women are objectified and victimized everywhere. And let's just ride that wave. You know, like, and honestly, like if I was a young man, I would hate women. If all I was exposed to was feminist dogma my whole life, I would think women were the worst absolute scumbags in the universe because my whole life I'd be forced to give up my seat, give up everything I work for in order to step back and give fucking way to them. So it's like no wonder guys want sex robots and play video games and shit. Like there's nothing appealing about women anymore. Like all they want to do is degrade you and tell you that they're the victim in the process.
Exactly.
I don't know. I'm older, so I don't deal with that so much. I mean, not that I date anymore, but like at the same time, like, but if I was a young guy and my hormones were going crazy and I was trying to find a partner, holy shit, it would suck fucking balls. It would be the worst thing. Like it's better to be dead than to be a young man in any of these feminist utopias right now. Like that's why I kind of feel bad for male feminists. I'm like, you're saying this shit because you feel like you have to. Like you have no support structure in your life that says you can think for yourself. You're just saying this because, God damn it, you're an oppressor if you don't. You're a racist and bigot and misogynist if you don't hate yourself for being born for the crime of being male. It's fucking sad.
Well, James, actually, it's easy to stay away from women everywhere. You know, we all know, I'm a woman myself, and I always talk about the same thing, that woman is poisonous. You know, we are dangerous. We have something in our mind that, like, we're trying to, how to say it, to seduce men everywhere. Sex is fun, right, for everyone. And all we want, mostly for a woman, is sex, as you know. And then the feminists is want more and more and more than that. Money, properties, everything, everything that the man have. And woman has become so lazy lately. So they just want to get the free money from everyone, doesn't have to work at all. And well, society is making it happen and just easy for them. Cut them off. Jesus.
You're absolutely right. And this translates to, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Right though, isn't it?
But I saw an article recently where these 50-year-old overweight women that were really important in their jobs were bitching that they can't find men that are worthy of them. They're like, oh, we can't find educated, sophisticated men that, you know, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, yeah, of course you dumb cunt, because like the whole reason that you're in a position that you are is you use the institutional power of the pussy pass to fucking step on every man in your way that probably outperformed you, but you got, you know, you got your position, whatever, like women in power, fine. I got no problem with that. And I think the fallacy that men are intimidated or turned off by women in power is complete bullshit. Honestly, I think a woman in control is super fucking sexy, and I always have. And I think I'm not alone in that. I think most men feel that way. What we hate, though, is women that are fucking bitches and bullies and hurt you. Like, that's different. Like, you can be a powerful woman and be nice. You can be a powerful woman and be a cunt. Like, there's a difference. Like, if you're a fucking cunt and you're powerful, yeah, of course men are not going to like you. But don't pretend like it's any insecurity on our part. It's a reflection on your fucking goddamn shitty personality. Like, and this is common. This happens all the time. Like, women don't want to date down. Fine, I get that. But when you constantly make sure men cannot progress because you're claiming to be a victim and therefore that means you get promoted more, like, what do you expect to happen? Like, when you say that, you know, 95% of men are CEOs, we need to change that. Okay, cool. Well, stop bitching that there aren't any CEOs that want to fuck you. Like, that's how it goes. Like, you're trying to decrease the population of their own fucking dating pool. You dumbasses.
Yeah, but the way the corporate world works, the corporate ladder cannot possibly work like that, because when you climb a corporate ladder into a boardroom, if you're fast-tracked into it by the reason of because you're a woman or because you're gay or because you're, then you haven't proved yourself worthy to be in that boardroom. What type of CEO is going to hand their fucking company over to somebody who has got into their boardroom via the fast track?
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Happens, people don't respect them because they know they didn't get there by effort, but they take that disrespect and use it as a weapon and claim it's misogyny.
Isn't it? Everything, even misandry is misogyny.
I'm sorry, Hannah, were you saying something? We didn't hear that.
It's done that say something. I'm bringing my coffee.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. All right, good. All right, cool. Mazzy, anything to say?
Well, from me, okay, you talk about the CEO. I would say, from my point of view, like, we are a woman that working outside. It's very fucking hard. And then, like, the CEO, mostly, they're very ambitious about those things, right? To have a career and everything. But in the end, they will always thinking like, oh, right now I have money, I'm smart, I have a standard in life. I choose my man, who's the one that will be in bed with me. And then when they think they have the money in the world that they have, and they will starting trying to buy a man. And when the man is not satisfied them, they will accuse something, or even the man is trying to rejecting them. They will accuse them like raping or something else that happens nowadays. But mostly it's all about a pride as a woman. They feel rejected, they feel hurt, they feel like abandoned, all the fucking victim feelings. Oh, suck my ass. Jeez.
Well, and that's the insidious thing about feminist rhetoric, right? Like it always has a grain of truth. Like there's always there's a kernel in there that is like, okay, that's true. And I'm sympathetic to that. The problem is they take a great leap and assume the great leap endpoint is the exact same thing that the original endpoint was. And they're not the same, you know? Like, yes, are women fucking treated like sex objects sometimes? Absolutely. Are women degraded and disrespected? 100% agreed. However, that doesn't mean every woman all the time, every day is objectified by every man all the time, every day. Like there is a nuance in there that just says, you know what? Sometimes people are shitty. It's not a reflection. It's not a reflection on anything bigger than that. Like, yeah, that's my thoughts.
That's the thing about feminism. They just focus on stupid shit. You know, not focus on the serious stuff.
Jesus, they cannot think about anything else unless vagina, boobs, money, you know.
And the worst thing is,
having sex.
You know, like in certain countries, you know, where actual misogyny happens, you know, it's constant. You know, the Sharia law is like, you know, like hatred towards women, like they do more like objectification, like, you know, sex slaves and.
Most definitely. The Sharia law is just Hollywood in a nutshell.
Exactly. I mean, I know it's too personal to actually talk about, you know, am I gonna say, oh, you know, being victimized by all this shit back then.
Don't say something if you don't want to say it, darling.
Yeah, don't expose yourself, okay? Like, once you're out of your situation, maybe spill your guts then. But right now, you're not. It's okay.
Understand
about it too much.
If you don't want it, if you're not comfortable, don't carry on.
Well, you know what I mean? Like, you know how, okay, because you know with my mom, she's very like, I just don't understand her hatred towards men. You know, it's making me hate her for, because she's like saying, oh, men are this, men are that. And you know how she doesn't know about me going out with a non-Muslim man? And I'm trying to keep it on down low, because she finds out, you know, we'll both be dead.
Yeah, you're going to be killed.
Yeah, and not to mention how controlling she is, because you know I told you on the messenger, right, James, about what my mom did.
Yeah, that's fucked up. I mean, but it's to be expected. Like, authoritarians are always going to get into your shit and try to investigate you and always be suspicious. That's just the nature of a cult. You know, they always got to keep people in check by keeping an eye on them. And you have no privacy, you have no personal space, like whatever it is they feel like they have a right to pry into. And it's a problem with anything. Like, to an extent, I think, you know, parents with young kids, I think there's no expectation of privacy because you're trying to raise kids. But when you get to 23 years old, like, back the fuck off, you know? Like, I'm a grown up now at that point. Like, it's different. It's not like you're 12 years old and your parents are just trying to protect you. Like, at this point, they're just trying to control you. And
yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
You're okay, darling. You're okay.
Hey, you're gonna get through this. You are. Like, just keep a low profile. Like, you know.
Yeah, because I'm doing my best to not give my boyfriend's address to anyone because
Absolutely don't. Like, memorize it and throw away anything you have on paper or any files on the computer. Like, delete. Like, just memorize it and then
yeah. Well,
you
I'm
know,
taking this laptop with me, so
pretend like nothing's nothing. Pretend like you're super devoted to Islam and you're going to be a super good kid and you love your parents and you appreciate them for setting you right. Like, you need to sell them on this. Like, seriously. Like, don't let them suspect for a second that you're trying to get out of there. Like, play the game.
yeah.
You know, like,
Listen to me. Just don't say anything at all. Okay. I will let you know. My mom is also a Muslim, so my family is mixed. We mix race, and we've got our in my family. Like my dad is a Hindu, I'm a Christian. My mom is a Muslim. My son is a Buddhist. Can you imagine it? And I know exactly what you've been through when I'm on your age. I got a boyfriend. I fuck everywhere. But I'm not gonna let my parents know about it. I'm just being honest with you all. I mean, like, there's nothing to hide. The thing is, you need to play smart, okay? Just pretend that you're being a good girl in front of them. Just pretend nothing happened. If you have no boyfriend, that's what I do, okay? But you can do whatever you want outside there. Your mom is not putting the CCTV inside your body, right? That's the thing, okay? Just let them know where you want to go, but you're not going there. They will check it out. Nobody's know about it. So just trying to calm down. Everything is just gonna be okay for you. Okay? Nothing is gonna be happen to you and Johnny. Just like Tim said, just trying to keep a profile about it. Okay? You don't have to say anything, you don't have to expect anything, you know. So your parents is not gonna be suspect anything. Just trying to be normal, just like you usually do, right? Okay. Don't try to how to say it. Wait a second. To show us that you're falling in love with somebody. Your parents must recognize that, right?
I don't think they're gonna set me up with anyone I don't like, because you know what's gonna happen. I'm gonna have to keep knives under my holster, like garters. You know those things you wear around the legs? The holsters, leg holsters.
yeah, they're sexy. I like them. I approve.
Hey.
Holy shit, I derailed the whole conversation. Sorry.
It's out of them.
I forgot my word here.
No.
You James.
Sorry, I ruined everything. God damn it.
You've been in bed.
I'm gonna shut up. I'll let you continue. I think this was a really good conversation.
Just drop it. If you're uncomfortable, Maddie, just drop it. If you don't.
Sorry, I was just coughing. Okay. No, what I'm saying is.
Man.
What? Oh no! Now you know. Okay, now you know what happens in the bedroom with him. Don't say it.
I like Abba.
Okay. No, what I'm saying is, I'll be keeping, weapons under that dress, basically.
Yes. Under every dress is a weapon. A very horrible, deadly weapon.
Including the pepper spray.
Yep.
The triangle.
I mean, the most deadly weapon is the vagina, but a pepper spray also, yeah, would suffice.
Oh, here's the thing about this pepper spray I got in my bag. It goes onto that person's face for 7 days. The face goes completely red.
That's awesome. Back when I bartended back in the day, I would walk home after my shift because I lived that close to the bar. I was really lucky about that. But I got riot spray, which was like good for like 15 feet, and it would like fucking, it was like a flamethrower, but just like poison gas in people's face. Great, because I'd be going home with like, you know, $200-300 in cash tip money every night. So I didn't want anyone jumping me and fucking with me. Luckily, nothing ever happened, but it was nice to have that. It's good. You know, pepper spray is a good thing. I recommend it. Just keep it around. It doesn't take up much room in your pocket, and you'd be glad you have it.
Yeah, it's better than the panic alarm because you can go out randomly.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's continue. Let me screen share again.
All right.
We'll go another 15-20 minutes or so. We'll see how it goes. As long as everyone's talking and interacting and enjoying the thing, I don't feel like I need to end it prematurely. But
no matter.
Did anyone
see how it goes.
put hand up?
We do work closely with clients in these situations. You still have to do that professional line in there where you say, we're not stepping over this.
We worry about stranger danger. Don't let your child be alone with a stranger. And everyone really tends to think that a pedophile is kind of a rapist, but really that's not how they work.
That's absolutely true. Like the whole alarm bells was like, oh, a stranger is going to try and pull up in his van and pick me up with the enticement of having candy in the van. If I go in there, I just have all the candy I want. But that doesn't happen. That's not how pedophiles work. Pedophiles ingratiate themselves. They become counselors. They become party clowns. They become producers for children's programming. You know, wherever they can get leverage. Like we've heard stories of what is it like? Where do you send kids that need to be watched? What are they called? I'm totally drawing a blank. Like babysitting houses. Like I don't know. Like these places where like people bring their kids, you know, and then you find out later, oh my God, it was a sexual pedophile ring, and you know, 90 kids were victimized, and here's the guy, and you know, like, and he's like, oh, he was a good citizen, like he always like paid off the politicians and had good social standing, but damn it, he got busted. So we're just gonna say I never saw this coming. You know, it happens all the time. Like it's really sick. Like, and people get on me for being anti-celebrity. Like I get it all the time from every aspect of my life. They're just like, you just hate celebrities because you're jealous, because you don't make money like them. And I'm like, no, I hate celebrities because they're a bunch of fucking hypocritical douchebags that have no talent. Like I will give credit where credit is due. Like if there's an actor that's awesome, or if there's a director that's awesome, like I will acknowledge it. I'm educated enough in both arts to be able to recognize schlock from talent. You know, even if it's a movie I don't like, I can still recognize, holy shit, they put effort into this. There's artistic merit here. Like if you've ever seen any of my movie reviews, that would be evident. But the thing is, it's all about fucking kids. That's the problem. Like, that's why movies suck. That's why TV shows suck. That's why the only good content you're going to get is independent and outside of the movie circuit. Everything else is dumbed down for the lowest common denominator's consumption. And they do this because it's easy. Like, that's why fucking like Star Trek and Star Wars has been raped. That's why comic books as an institution have been raped. That's why young adult novels have been taken over by SJWs. Like there's no quality anymore. It's all about a political agenda. And I am not a Trump supporter. I am not a Trump guy at all. But I will say the biggest boon about him being elected as president is he's fucking shaking the fuck out of this tree. And these motherfuckers are dropping out like fucking rotten apples, and I love it. I love that aspect about it. Like I don't agree with any of Trump's policies, but I love the fuck that he's completely shaking the shit out of what the media has become. And I'm going to be grateful for that forever. Like, I don't think he's ever going to enact any policy that matters to anyone substantially, despite all the hype. I think he's going to be a lame duck when it comes down to it. But his lasting impact is going to be him standing up to pop culture and shaking their fucking shit to their boots, because ratings are fucking down across the board. Like, everyone hates it. I love it. It's fucking brilliant. It's beautiful. It makes me happy.
Because it's like a business. Everything that comes with Trump is
yeah.
So it's like a competition for them, like from Hillary's side or whatever. And then, you know, when it comes to business, somehow people would refill themselves. And that's what happened right now, I think. And I
yep. You're right. Well, you know, someone made a joke I was watching Louder with Crowder earlier today, which, you know, I disagree with Steven Crowder a lot, but I respect him 100%. He's a good guy and he's legitimate. We don't agree on everything, but he's a good guy. But he made a really great point. And it was basically, you know, everyone that hates, I'm drawing a blank. God damn it. Well, that's embarrassing.
It was a lie.
Yeah.
God damn it. Oh, man. Okay, so, yeah, you made a good point, though, and I will get back to that one of these days. Don't remember what it is now. That's embarrassing, but hey, this is where we're live. Let's embrace the madness.
But James, if I'm thinking about all the pedophiles and, you know, all the kids actor and actress, I'm always thinking, as a parent, I'm a parent myself, and I would then exploit my kids to do anything. Let them just having fun when they're still young, you know. And
yeah. Well, that's the point of childhood, right? Like, you should be able to have fun, carefree as much as possible, and just let your imagination explore, so you understand yourself and the eventual direction you're gonna go in life. You know, when I was a kid, I loved being creative, and I thought, I'm gonna make money being creative because I'm gonna just be that good. And like a billion trillion other kids, I realized
the trick to be told is actually the parents is one. The money first is about being famous and recognizable as an actress or something, and they cannot do it themselves, so they're trying to protect their kids and using them for all that stuff, you know. So the kids themselves is just like a tool for their parents. That's what I don't like the most, and I don't like to exploit my kids to everyone, even to their girlfriend.
Yeah. Yep, I agree. I totally get it. Comments? Don, Mazzy, anyone?
Reminds me, what Hannah's just said reminds me of Michael Jackson. And I wasn't convinced that Michael Jackson had done it, yeah. We're never going to totally know, but the 2 years ago, a police report came out which pretty much substantiated it, yeah. And if it wasn't for, I totally believe a lot of the parents were on the bandwagon for the money.
Here's the thing. I agree with you about Michael Jackson. I don't think he ever touched or hurt a kid. I don't think he did it all. But he's an idiot because he did have sleepovers with kids at his house, and I think that's utterly ridiculous.
I believe he's guilty.
On every level. Like, I don't care how innocent it is. You don't have kids sleep over in your bed when you're a grown up, like, unless you're related to them
But I take money, James. If that was my kid, I wouldn't take the money to not take it any further. I couldn't, even though you've probably got no chance of winning against them. I couldn't have my kids walking around in clothes and driving a car that their rapist had provided to them. So this is why I doubted the whole thing, because what fucking parent would take that money?
Don, you're absolutely right, but you have to consider that the celebrity moms, you know, they don't view their children in the same way that you or anyone else on this stream or anyone listening or watching this would view their children or people under their care. Like these people, they see them as commodities. Like, I'm gonna doll them up. I'm gonna make sure to starve them so they have the right body. I'm gonna bleach their hair. I'm gonna, you know, do all this stuff and make them an extension of the success that I could never reach. You know, so I'm gonna force my values on them and make them this human walking mannequin and sex object. And hey, if a low level Harvey Weinstein type person wants to fuck them, why not? Because you didn't even create that kid with the intention of creating a child and raising them to be successful. What you did is created someone that you can live vicariously through and try to accomplish your own inadequacies throughout, you know, like, so you pimp them out to these producers, you dress them up, you put makeup on them, you get them all fucking sexified, you know, when they're 4 fucking years old or whatever.
John Bennett.
Yeah.
It's sickening.
And you know, the real problem is, like, I don't mind the fact that these shows get made so much. Like, it's a problem, but people watch it. People support it. Like, what the fuck is up with that? Like, who are these people that actually watch these shows unironically or without critique or criticism? Like, who are these people that actually watch this for the pure enjoyment that supposed shows are intended for? Like, what the fuck is wrong with them? Like, who watches baby models and thinks, oh my God, this is good entertainment, if they're not a fucking sicko pedophile?
I wouldn't watch it.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I absolutely wouldn't. Like, and I think most people aren't. But these shows do happen, and they're popular. And the question is why. Like,
Smash the fucking face in. I couldn't handle being in a circle of mums like that. I could not handle that.
I think there's a disconnect between what our adult responsibilities are versus how we need to look at those that are under our power. Like, if you look at a lot of leftist philosophy, it's all about communalism. Like, everyone is not an individual, you are part of a class, and based on your sex or race or skin color or whatever, you're going to be in this box and you can never escape from it, and you have privileges or weaknesses irregardless of your personal experience. That these superficial aspects determine by society what you're dealing with, and fuck you if you disagree, even though it's you. We're going to tell you what your life experience is. That's what it is. And you translate that to the destruction of the American family. Like we need to separate children from the care of their parents. Like, mom and dad don't know what's best for you. It takes a village. We're all going to, you know, raise this kid based on, you know, like our values, on our society and our culture. And look, we got money and flashing lights and privileges and all this shit. And let's be honest, not everyone that creates a kid is interested in the best interest of that kid. It's a commodity to them. If you're a fucking sociopath piece of shit, then why wouldn't you use your kid and pimp them out to Hollywood producers for the highest bidder? Why wouldn't you? Like, if you're a piece of shit, you're going to do that. The problem is, and I'm not saying that it's limited to these individuals, but this is institutional. Like, this is encouraged by the producers, by the creators. Harvey Weinstein is just the tip of the iceberg. There are so many other producers. Like, it just, I really hope that the feminists are unsuccessful in their attempt to co-opt this as a bludgeon against all men, so that anyone that was catcalled is immediately given the same victim status as someone that was fucking bound and raped as a 7-year-old in a Harvey Weinstein drug party. Like, it's not the fucking same thing. And I think the whole Me Too campaign is an insult to sexual violence victims everywhere. And
Exactly.
I'm not gonna apologize for it. Like, fuck you, feminists. And your fucking Me Too bullshit.
They're the ones that are trivializing actual serious.
Well, if only people is value family more than anything else, I think nothing like this would be happen. You know, if they value families more than anything else, and for everyone have a moral, but that's what happened right now. Lack of morals, really.
Yeah, you know, and I'm not usually typically conservative, but there is legitimate data, and it also speaks truth to me logically that the family unit is the most successful building block to society. Like, a strong family unit will raise children with a support system that encourages them to try to be their best, but also will provide that safety net if they fail. And the thing is, the family has a stake in it, in their child's success. So they'll help them out when they fail and help them boost them up and move them forward. What the left wants to do is replace the family entirely with the state, with this huge over-bloated bureaucracy. And by the way, let's throw in some agenda-ridden shit. Like, you know, I think YouTube and Facebook and Twitter are a microcosm of what they really want the government of the future to be. And I am so glad it's all backlashing, because everyone fucking hates these companies now, right? Like, and justifiably.
Yeah, I guess.
Seems like it. All right. Any comments? Anyone?
Agreed. Agreed.
Cool. Well, we've gone 2 hours and we're 23:56 minutes into the video, so I think this is probably a good time to close this out, and we can call this a part 1. We can continue from the 24-minute mark on the next episode, and hopefully we can get Ash and Brutus to come join, because I know they have a lot of insight on this particular topic as well. So that'll be really great. If you guys want to talk about anything in the meantime, we can do that too. I'm not in a hurry to end this program.
He likes having all the women around him.
I do. The only pussy I usually get is my kitty cat, and she just wants.
I'm scared of the cat. Make it stay away.
She's a sweetheart. And I adopted her. She came declawed. I would never declaw a cat, but she came declawed.
I know. It's still scared.
I know. I think it's abusive and horrible and mutilation, but
no, it's not horrible. But somehow cat doesn't like me at all.
Oh, that's you. That's got to be you.
Yeah, you should examine that about yourself, because cats are cool. Cats are cool.
Cats are awesome.
Most people that don't like cats, I think, try to approach cats like they would approach dogs, and you can't do that. Like dogs like it when you walk up to them and be like, "Hey, Scruffy, whoa, you know, let's be all goofy and aggressive," and you give them, you know, aggressive belly scratches and shit, and they love it. Cats don't. They don't like it. Like, you gotta like approach them respectfully and be like, "Hi, sniff my finger, cool. Let me scratch your head." You know, like, you gotta, you know, and there's social decorum with getting to know a kitty cat.
Yeah,
Cats can do cats.
Cool.
Well,
Well, is there any other video or topic we could jump on while we're all still together here that anyone wants to talk about? Or
bad. You know, obviously the person who's initiated all this, again, is Corey Feldman, obviously. I've been following a few years, you know, the two Coreys.
Oh,
I'm
God.
a big...
Well, that comes up later in this documentary. Like, they bring up the two Coreys and their like that is because that's a very good point and a big piece of evidence. Like, I really wish they would name names, and it bothers me that I don't know why they don't. Like, if they're gonna say something about it, like, name names, like fucking like they must be under some kind of duress to not.
Well, yeah, of course. They're frightened. They were just kids.
Mm.
You know what I mean? They're just kids.
No,
But,
I know, but I mean, now that they're adults and whistleblowing, like they must be under some kind of threat to not name names. Like, that's the only thing I can come up with.
Well, did you see what the woman on?
Carry on.
Did you see what the woman on The View said to him? Talking about. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear.
He was on the couch on The View a few years ago talking about it. And she's Barbara, I can't remember her surname, but she said to him, "You are damaging a whole industry with what you're saying." That's what she said to him. And I was like, fuck you. You know what I mean? He's telling you he's been raped. He's trying to tell you him and his best friend, who's now dead, were molested, and all you're doing is saying you are damaging an entire industry with what you're saying. That's literally what she said to him. She's a big feminist icon as well. The cunt.
It's ridiculous. It's fun, is it?
Iya, Papa. Iya, Pak, tadi. Mau bilang aja ke Kevin handphonenya hilang. Kevin handphonenya hilang.
Well, look, if there's one thing that's consistent, it's everyone wants you to talk about sexual abuse unless the victim is a man. Like, that's the thing. Like, if you speak up as a male victim of sexual abuse, gay, straight, whatever, you are stealing the spotlight. You are supposedly taking attention away from real victims, quote unquote, you know, and it's fucking disgusting and terrible because, you know, anyone can be a victim of sexual abuse, anyone at all. And to tell men to shut up is
disgusting.
Completely disgusting. Yes, and it's transparent in its agenda. Like, clearly, like, you know, like people want to be feminist. People want to say, "Oh my God, I believe in equality and all this stuff." Like, because these are good ideals that we should all aspire to. However, the toxic divisiveness bullshit that they push on people makes you hate them. Because, like, how can you agree with the double standard? Like, how can you say, I support women survivors of sexual abuse, but I'm going to tell men survivors to shut the fuck up because their experience doesn't matter? Like, can you be any more blatantly fucking prejudiced? Like, does that not betray your own position? Like, you don't care about victims. You have an agenda, and you hate people. Like, you want victims to be silent because you don't like the way they were born. You don't like the genitals they have. Like, well, fuck you. Like, we're not going to shut up. We're not.
Yeah, this happened to my boyfriend. He, because he told me that he was working somewhere, and oh my God, she lied to the boss about this. This is what happened. Okay, my boyfriend told me that he was sexually assaulted, you know, falsely accused. And so, you know, the bitch was like, "Oh, I'll give you a blowjob if you do a good job." And he He obviously refused the blowjob. He was like, no thanks. And guess what the bitch did? She falsely accused him, you know, got everyone to hate him, and well, luckily she got fired because, you know, the truth came out. And the worst, also,
What
here's the
happened?
worst thing. Okay, this friend of mine, she was being dismissive towards my boyfriend when he was telling her his side of the story about how he was being falsely accused. And then she got so dismissive. She was like, "Oh, sorry to hear that." You know, like she was like, you know, like implying that, "Oh, you're lying."
Yeah, naturally. Well, I remember I was like 19 or 20 or whatever. I was hired to be like stocking crew at Hastings, which was like a CD and VHS store back in the 90s, you know, where you go and rent movies and buy music and all that shit. And I was like a stocking crew guy. Like I showed up at 4 a.m. and we would like receive packages and put them all on the shelves before we opened at 9 a.m. And that was like that guy, like our job. And my boss was like this, you know, pretty attractive, like, 40 to 50-ish, woman. But she would always be like super inappropriate and totally hit on me all the time. I was like 19 or 20 at the time. I wasn't interested in her. Like, and it's not that she wasn't attractive. It's just she was married and had 3 kids. And like, I'm not trying to fuck with her life. And there were other girls I was trying to flirt with at the time. And it just wasn't a thing. But it got so fucking intense where eventually I had to file a complaint. And I'm like, you know what? Like, she just will not stop groping me. She won't stop talking to me, like asking me all to do all the stuff. And the general manager was like, okay, are you sure you want to do this? We're going to have to do a big loss prevention investigation and create a regional blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, look, I don't want to create problems. Actually, I don't want to give her any shit. What I'd really like to do is just transfer to another department where I'm just not under her anymore. Can we just do that? Like, no, we can't do that. We're going to have to do an investigation. I'm like, what the fuck? So anyway, long story short, I ended up getting fired 2 months later. And she was fine. I was basically labeled as someone who was causing trouble. And yeah, like it was a very, very eye-opening experience. And this was like 1996 or something like that. Like, this is how anti-male the job market was even back then. And today it's even 10 times worse. Like, you do not stand a chance as a man. Like, you could be outright grabbed and molested by your boss on the job, on the clock, with camera footage, and just not even try to cause problems. Just ask for a transfer. Like, I don't want anything bad to happen. I just want to go to another department so I don't have to deal with that anymore. Boom, fuck you, you're out. Like, if you don't take it, but it's a man's world. It's a man's world. We control everything, patriarchy, all that shit. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, women can do whatever the fuck they want as long as the fucking douchebags up ahead feel guilty enough about their own sexism. And that's where all this comes from. Like, these fucking douchebags that are like billionaires and millionaires and shit, like, they're the actual sexists. They're the actual misogynists. They're the ones that are actually raping girls and grooming little kids and being the pedophiles. The problem is everyone that's a victim of them doesn't point the finger at them. They point the finger at guys like me, the normal guys in the normal world. Like, we're just trying to do the best we can to get by. We're not these fucking predators that you suck the dicks of to get your money. Like, that's the problem with this whole thing. Like you think it's men. No, it's those specific men. Like, stop enabling them.
Exactly.
It's not me. I'm not the problem. Guys like me aren't the problem. We're just trying to fucking pay our rent and move on. Maybe meet a nice girl at some point and have a relationship. But we're not fucking rapists. I've never in my life had a girl over and been like, hey, watch me shower on the first date. Like, cool. Well, wouldn't you love to rub my big fat obese belly that's like totally hairy and gross? I'll totally give you money. Like, no normal guy does this, but Hollywood elite leftists, they're all over it. That's what they do every fucking day. And they will get on their goddamn fucking pedestal and tell us how to respect women.
I know.
I'm so pissed. I'm sorry.
We live in a very gynocentric society. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well,
it reminds me of Madonna. You know what Madonna done on the stage last year or the year before to Drake?
Yes, that was disgusting. I can't believe
Yeah,
it.
he had obviously turned her down beforehand. Yeah, because on the stage, she got on top of him and tried to properly kiss him, and he was like having none of it, but she forced the kiss, and then she went, "I'm Madonna, bitch," and then walked off the stage. So he had turned her down off stage, hadn't he? Do you know what I mean? She just can't fucking stand the fact that she's past it now and he isn't attracted to her. And she pulled that on stage.
Way too far.
Tapi nggak tahu belum nanya apa nanyain ke orang itu belum, soalnya makin nggak satu di sini.
We'll get off in a minute, May. Time is it?
Oh my god, it's like 1:18 in the morning.
Hey, ladies, out of curiosity, how many of you are blocked by Steve Shives?
What? Whose phone is it?
Nice music.
I'm sorry, it's my phone.
Have one.
How many of you are blocked by Steve Shives, out of curiosity?
Oh no, I have not even contacted this.
You're probably blocked. I'm pretty sure we all are.
I don't use Twitter.
Yeah, I don't use
One.
Twitter.
Twitter
Yeah,
is
I'm
rubbish
blocked
anyway.
on.
Sorry.
I'm sorry, go ahead. One at a time.
I'm Clementine Ford.
Oh my god, that cunt.
What? Who?
Clementine Ford, this Australian feminist. She's a cunt.
Oh, you're talking about Christy Winters?
No. Let me type it in.
Australian feminist cunt, I think Christy Winters, but
I'm talking about
Clementine Ford. Oh my god. Yes, she is also an Australian feminist.
She's a cunt.
Oh my god. Well, that's the thing. So bad.
And then you get Muslim feminists as well.
Oh,
you know
yeah.
those.
Oh, like Linda Sarsour?
Yeah. Ew. The cockroach. Linda the cockroach. Because Sarsour means cockroach in Arabic.
Well, I always
had the fucking nerve to criticize Aryan Hirsi Ali for being a white supremacist of all goddamn things. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, here's a woman who was shot in the head when she was 12 years old for refusing to be gang raped under Sharia law and somehow magically survived it and like lived to tell the tale. Like, are you fucking telling me she has privilege? Are you fucking kidding me? Like, Linda Sarsour grew up in fucking upstate New York from rich parents. She has no fucking clue what oppression is.
This is how bitches like her act like. Okay, I'm gonna wear this hoodie and act like a hijabi, take the piss out of them.
What is a hijabi, by the way? Explain it.
Hijabi. Hijabi is a Muslim bitch who wears a hijab, thinks she's so hot shit, but she's a slut, a super slut. Basically, she thinks that she's better than any girl who doesn't wear a hijab or any woman who isn't a Muslim.
Well, it's true. I'm living in a Muslim country,
You know, what's an interesting porn search is hijab porn. Like, it's all over. Like, it's so great. Like, whenever I watch it, I feel like I'm just fighting Islam.
Okay.
Well,
This
just
is how
be
hijabis wear. They wear like
Well,
it's like this. Okay, I'm gonna impersonate them.
Sorry, that was funny.
I'm not gonna show any more any skin, so don't worry.
Let's
It's a little boring. I recommend it.
This is the. Oh, I'm a. Look at me. I'm a good Muslim.
But you know what? Somehow they are the one that is really the slut. You know, is in real because I live in a Muslim country in here, and you know, there's a lot of them, and it's just faking it. It's just to get a job in the government. They're trying to pretend like a good girl. Something.
Yes, exactly that.
Actually, they're just a whore. The one that fucked my ex-husband is actually a slut that wearing a hijab. And you know what I'm telling her that time? Oh, you're covering your head, but you're not covering your vagina.
This is them.
What is it for then? Okay.
I'm a hijabi.
Well, let's be honest, though. A vagina is happiest when it's considered property by a good landowner.
I'm happy with mine. That's good enough, I think, right?
Well, you know, we all want the same thing, you know, like, I think people are, we're pack animals to an extent, and we like companionship, and the family unit is, it's very appealing for a lot of reasons, you know. Yeah, it's not. What the fuck? Who's calling me? Why is? Where's that coming from? Oh my god.
Who's this?
Sorry about that. I don't know. Some call from Oregon. I don't know. Like, stop. How do I stop that? Oh my god.
Oh yeah, James, do you remember I told you I got blocked by a hijabi?
I'm pretty sure that was like a solicitor, like, because the account that I use for this is for my business, and so it's registered with all these like business websites, and so I get sales calls all the time. So usually not this late though, but yeah, because I don't use this for personal calls at all. So that's probably, it must have been like a whatever. Anyway, what was I saying? I was saying something really interesting. Now I forgot it.
Midget porn. Wow.
Oh, midget porn. Yes. I don't watch midget porn.
Yeah.
Not that there's anything wrong with short people. I think short people should exist and have the same opportunities as all my fellow Americans. That's
on.
Midgets. Although I remember there was one hot midget that I saw in my.
Are you really seriously that you?
No, I never talked to her, but she was like someone that, like, I forget the situation, but like I saw her regularly. Like maybe she was like someone that came by where I worked or whatever. But I remember going to my coworker going, I never thought midgets were hot before, but she's pretty hot. Like, and that was about it. And then like I remember like 3 years later, she was dating a black guy, and she went out. The guy was like driving like a Ferrari, like a really rich sports car, like, and he was like this really like well dressed black dude, you know, and I was like, I remember her. I remember thinking she was a hot midget. Wow, like, and now she's dating this baller. Like, holy shit. Well, there's someone for everyone. Good for you. Like, you know, there's a happy ending there. Like, I'm sure they're very happy and still together.
Well, that's a good thing then.
Yeah, right. But you know, like, life is like that, and I think, you know, like, you should celebrate things like that as opposed to just being like, oh my god, right. But that's life.
Well, that's the life. I'm not against those things. Just I'm not really into it.
What? You don't want a midget?
Hell no! Jesus! I'm gonna be
I
normal one.
am a midget. 5'2".
I'm 5'2" as well.
Hey.
Well, I'm fine being a Pikachu. Well,
I thought Dawn was tall.
No.
I thought you were like 5'9".
No. I'm a little pocket rocket, me.
We're team shorties.
Short Appreciation Week.
I like short women. I think that's just fine. Like, I feel bad for tall chicks. I feel like they are totally pressured by society to limit their own gene pool, and if they find someone taller, like
but they look awesome. I always want to be taller, but here I am, like a little teapot.
I wanted to be taller too. Like, I never broke 6 feet. Like, I was really hoping when I was a young teenager growing up. I'm like, okay, here we go. Like, maybe I'll break the family record and actually hit 6 feet. But no, I hit it like I'm like 5'10"3/4. I'm like damn near 5'11". Like, I'm so close to 5'11", but not quite. Like, and it's very disappointing. But you know, what can you do? There was a different Stokes episode about that where Arnold was disappointed that he'll never grow to be 6 feet, so he decided to eat 3 gallons of ice cream so he could at least be 6 feet wide.
That's me.
Tall.
Do a
That's
lot
true. I'm not making that up.
of hit the gym often, then you grow more taller.
No, not really. I almost spending my time before this at the gym. I'm not even get taller. I'm just even like look like a walking skeleton to me because I'm so thin, and I didn't want to get fat actually.
Short girls are appealing because you can pick them up and do whatever you want with them, and if they resist, you can just tell them to shut the fuck up. And,
Not really. They're fat.
It's all about the short men.
This is
someone's gonna use that in a soundbite against me one day. Like, James is a rape apologist. He's a rapist. He likes to rape girls. He said you could pick them up and use them without their permission. What an asshole! You use women.
It's changing colour.
Oh.
What?
All your Star Trek stuff all gone pink.
Who's gone pink?
Dude, no one with this many Star Trek models is gonna be a sexual predator. We're too busy being nerds to worry about being insecure enough to like force a woman to touch my wiener. If she's gonna go there, I'd hope that it would be upon her own volition. That's where the attraction comes from. This is the safeguard. This is what you do when you're
It's low.
secure. Well, it got quiet all of a sudden. Holy shit!
Well, it's very mesmerizing.
What, the lighting scheme back here? That's fun. I like it. Yeah, I have to live here, so I try to make it my own personal nightclub.
Easy on the eye.
All right,
going in to get off in a sec. It's like, what time is it?
1:30.
Half 1 in the morning.
Right.
Yeah, we can probably end this. We're at our 2.5 hour limit, and yeah, like, this was a lot of fun though, ladies. Like, thank you so much for hanging out. Like, let's do it again very soon. Hopefully we get Ash and Brutus and some of the other guys to join in on commentary next time, because we got a lot to unpack. Like, we got into the first 23, 24 minutes into this documentary, but there's that was mostly like the intro and shit. Like, there's a lot of meat and potatoes to deal with as it moves forward, and so hopefully hopefully we can, you guys can all be here for that, and we'll get some more voices in too.
Okay.
All right. Well, I love you girls. I wish you were all my stepsisters across the hall.
Group hug.
Thanks for joining and making this stream way more entertaining and a lot more fun. Like having you here, like just makes it way more interesting and educational. I think for the users or for the listeners, like it's nice to get the different perspectives out there.
Actually, I have a request. Next time, how about we talk about Muslim?
Let's talk about Muslims.
It's not interesting. It's just like messy, you know. They just try to kill it off. Everything is about Muslim.
Well,
And
maybe next time
that they have.
we can do a live stream of Muslim porn and see how long that takes to get taken down.
Ha ha ha. Yeah.
We'll remember the Mia Khalifa story.
Never ending story. Just like they will allow somebody is sexually abuse one of the family. That's quite interesting.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. But this was really great. Thank you so much, ladies, for joining this stream. This is actually unprecedented. Usually, the channel is quite a sausage party, so it's very nice to have you guys here, like to lend your perspective. And this wasn't planned; it just worked out this way, and I'm very grateful for it. So, thank you for sharing your time. All right, cool. Well, I'm going to go ahead and end the broadcast now, unless anyone has any final words. Go ahead and love dope. We'll see you guys next time.
Live long and prosper.